Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Melissa. Thank you for clicking on this video. I wanted to do a tarot card series of understanding the tarot deck and using it in your everyday life, kind of just demystifying it for you, giving you some straightforward practical skills if you were looking to pick it up. So, again, thank you for being here. I hope you all are staying safe. It is at the time of me recording this, the middle of 2020. So I do wish you all well. I do wish that everybody is being responsible out there. So I just thought I'd mention that. I am a tarot card reader. I do identify as a tarot card reader. I am not a professional, but I am an enthusiast. So I do have a full-time job. That I work at outside of my spirituality, but I do love learning more about tarot, studying spirituality, and practicing it in my everyday life. So I have a really good relationship with my tarot card decks. I am a collector as well. So yeah, I thought I'd mention that just to introduce myself to you guys. So the first part of this video, I just kind of wanted to briefly mention a little bit about the history of the tarot deck. So let's get into that. All right, so I thought I would firstly talk about the history of the tarot card deck and kind of where its origins are. I know that maybe for some people, understanding the origin of the practice can lead to more appreciation. So I thought I'd give a quick and brief history of what I have read about this practice. So, in most books that you may read, and even on like Wikipedia, you can see that most scholars, most historians would attribute this practice as coming from European countries in the 15th century. So that's most likely in France or Italy. And when you look back historically on different tarot card decks, and the first ones that we know of, they are most likely written in French or most likely written in Italian. So a lot of scholars tend to say, all right, that's it. That's kind of where the paper trail first starts in regards to actual tarot card decks. There's a lot of debate, though, about where it really came from, and no one really quite knows. I've read a lot of other pieces, other articles and essays that people have written claiming that it was not actually from France or Italy, but that it was actually from Arab countries or perhaps from ancient Egypt, or perhaps elsewhere in other Eastern countries within that region. And it's very hotly debated. It's still, again, not definitive. You will see that in the tarot, there are different symbols that kind of speak to those different traditions, those different religions and belief systems. So a lot of people might see, oh, this is there's a lot of Egyptian symbolism here, so it must be from Egypt, or it must be from an Abrahamic tradition like Christianity, Judaism, like Jewish mysticism, or even Islam. So it's really not sure where it came from, but we do understand that the tarot card deck does come in different parts. So originally, when we look at history books and understanding the origins, again, a lot of historians claim that the tarot card deck was a playing card system. And I think what is accepted in the playing card system are the cards that are have suits, that have numbers, and that have specific court names. So similar to a 52 card deck, you'll find that the tarot deck also has aces. It has different suits. So either a sword, a cup, a wand, or a pentacle. Similarly to a 52 card deck, a 52 card deck is more like a spade, a club, a diamond, and a heart. So it's very similar in that way. So that was widely accepted, and I believe it is still accepted that those cards are still used as a playing card system. I believe they still do play it in European countries, and it's still quite popular. But when we look deeper into your tarot card deck, you'll understand that there is a whole other segment called the Major Arcana. So the Major Arcana are basically thematic cards that were added into the playing card system, and no one knows where that had originated. The symbology has changed through time. There's a modern interpretation of what we know as the tarot card deck today. So a lot of it has changed through the past centuries. But again, no one really understands where it truly came from. Again, some people think it could have come from ancient Egypt that was brought from the Romani culture or the Gypsies into Europe. Some people believe that it had come from Islam or an Arab country within that region of Europe or the Middle East. Some people truly believe that it had just been France or Italy, and it had been originated from those, Western European countries. But, no one really understands where it came from again, but it is the tarot card deck does have symbolism of all of those cultures, even reaching out into like the I Ching or the, Chinese cultures. You can find symbolism where you see that through the standard 78 card deck. So I think that's kind of interesting. It's almost a shout out to every single tradition out there, all the Abrahamic traditions, some, Buddhist traditions, and even ancient Egypt. So it's a really interesting practice where it seems inclusive and it wants to speak to you in that way if you're open for that type of interpretation and symbolism. So yeah, when we think about occultism, divination, and fortune telling, these are different practices that have existed for centuries as well. Again, no one really understands where the origin of that started through the medium of the tarot card deck. But, there are a lot of theories. It is still very popularized today, and it's probably what everybody knows it as is, psychics, witches will pick up a tarot deck and be able to use it for divination purposes, tell your future, tell you certain things about your life. And yeah, so I kind of wanted to talk briefly about that and share my 2 cents about that. So if you're a beginning tarot reader and you just want to learn it because you feel called to it, that's amazing. If you want to learn it for purposes that you want to start your craft, that's amazing as well. But keep in mind too that when we use the tarot card deck, it is ultimately your free will to take the advice of the cards, or not. And the reason why I say that is, we might ask the cards a certain question, and then we might pull some cards out and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm so doomed because my cards told me so. But really, at the end of the day, when it comes to working your magic through divination or even through fortune telling, which is something I do not practice, but if that's your forte, then go for it. Just keep in mind that the cards are a mirror to yourself. It is reading your energy in that moment. It is, showing you who you are in that moment, the answer that you might expect in that moment. But it is not concrete. It is not written in stone whatsoever. You, as a witch or just a person wanting to learn the tarot card deck, you are at your own free will. You can choose how to take your path, or where to go from there. So take it with a grain of salt. You have every right to shift your views when you read yourself or you read your friends. There are many ways to interpret, not just one. So I thought I would mention that too. I just wanted to demystify the magic and the divination around it. I consider myself a spiritual person, but not necessarily when I pull my cards every time I'm trying to, use it for divination purposes. I would say that 90% of the time for me, I use it for my own self-understanding and self-awareness. And if you are interested in understanding yourself on a more intimate level, then this is for you. So I thought I'd mention that as well. It's not just magic. It's not just, whoa, crazy stuff like that. It's not. It's a tool for healing. It's a tool to be transcending of yourself in that spiritual way, or even just in a very practical way as well. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about, what it's like to open up your tarot card deck. It's so exciting, and a lot of people are really just eager to open it up and start shuffling. I know I was definitely when I first had mine. So when you open up your card deck, you will find that it's most likely in order if it's not used already. So if it is brand new and you get your 78 card tarot deck, you will find that it is in order by suit and segmented away, the minor arcana segmented away from the major arcana. So basically each suit you can expect has different numbers on them, different scenes on them, and that's what you can expect. Each card is individualized, card by card. No card is the same. And it's the beautiful artwork, done by many tarot card practitioners and artists who are able to do this. So the one that I'm using actually, and the one that I recommend for everybody, is the Rider Waite Smith. I think that every tarot card reader most likely has this deck, whether they use it, very frequently or they just have it on hand. I feel like every card reader has this deck. Very standard, very beginner friendly, as every or nearly most tarot card decks are actually modeled after the Rider Waite Smith deck, despite the different symbols and scenes. Essentially the themes are very, very similar to this standard Rider Waite Smith deck. So again, the minor arcana have different scenes and they're all numbered. They have court cards. Each one of these is a different scene with a different vibe, a different way of interpreting a certain energy. They are all representations of a certain energy or a feel that we all go through in life. When we look at our major arcana, these are, this is what was historically added on to the standard playing card deck back in the supposed 15th century. So all of these major arcana cards, you'll know that it's a major arcana card because it says like the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess on the bottom of each card. All of these also have different scenes, different color schemes, as well as numbers. There are 22 of the major arcana cards, and they add onto the full deck, which creates 78 cards in total. So that is the basic structure of each card. I definitely want to go dive deep into having a relationship with your cards, as well as understanding the symbolism of the cards and what that means to you. So if you're interested in, wanting to have a good relationship with your cards and wanting to understand the symbolism and the themes, stick around for more. But yeah, I just thought I'd just briefly brush over the format of what you can expect in your standard deck. Oh, another thing that I can mention about tarot cards is they can come in very, very different art forms. So some tarot card decks can be themed, like one of my good friends just gifted me a card deck, and it's themed by zombies. So it's the zombie tarot. Another tarot card deck that I think is really amusing is the cat tarot. I forget the exact name, but it's just cats in each of the card symbols. So whatever calls to you, whatever you feel is more you, get that card deck. I just recommend the Rider Waite Smith deck because it is quite standard. It is the root of most modern tarot card decks out there on the market today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this very brief video. Just my first video, putting it out there on a series of understanding your tarot card deck. So if you would like more, please do stick around. I'll be posting more videos and more content about teaching the tarot in the future. So I hope you enjoyed that. Stay safe and see you guys next time.